Hi! We're out of Need for Speed, which I mentioned in last night's Tyler Perry's Single Moms Club, that Tyler Perry's Single Moms Club is the best friend that Need for Speed could possibly have, because no matter how bad Need for Speed is, it won't be that. And Need for Speed sucks. Like, Need for Speed was really a piece of dog shit. But the Tyler Perry movie is its best friend, because I can't get that mad, because it's not the fucking Tyler Perry movie.
See, now he kind of knows.
Yeah, I feel like I should just... I feel like I should just be not talking about Need for Speed, but talking about fucking Single Moms Club. I mean, I say that for video purposes, but in pure reality, I've been telling him about this movie all day. Like, I deliberately went to Brian's house earlier today, knocked on the door because I couldn't text him all of this, because how do you text criticism of a fucking Tyler Perry movie? You can't. You need to be there in person.
We tried a little bit. It didn't work so well.
Yeah. It was a lot of the texting that we tried was a lot of, like, did this shit happen in your fucking movie? Being the ones that they saw last year. He's like, yeah, did this happen? Yeah, it fucking did. Oh my God, you were right. Not that I didn't believe you, but...
And so far out of all of it, not a single fucking apology. Not even one. Like, oh no, I'm so sorry for what I did, sending you to those shitty movies.
I thought you wanted me to apologize for not asking you to go to Single Moms Club.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
But the other thing, yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm not even, like no joke, like 15 minutes into Single Moms Club, I'm not even kidding, like, I was sitting there, like, it seriously was this is what I've been asking him to see.
Whoa. I must feel like a real asshole then.
Wow. Wow. One, I'm a monster. Two, thank you so much for saying yes when I kept asking you.
Oh, you still got like 2 more to catch up to us.
Yeah, I do. He's got no more movies scheduled for release this year, so I gotta get caught up by watching Temptation and Medea Christmas. Oh my God.
Seems only fair to me, I mean.
It's honestly, this is honestly way more interesting to talk about than Need for Speed.
Quick summary of Need for Speed.
Yo, bitch!
Except, all of that happened except for the one part.
Actually, everyone else says bitch in this movie. Like, seriously, like, there's maybe 50 instances of the word bitch in this film. Except from Aaron Paul. I don't know why that upsets me. It does.
It's too on the nose.
He could easily turn that into, like, his I'll be back if he's gonna try to continue this action hero thing. He could turn that into, like, his, I'll be back, make my day, his catchphrase. But no, he didn't. He had several opportunities to say bitch in this. Never once.
They just kept throwing them at him, like, opportunities for him to bring that up.
Magnets, bitch. Sick car, Mr. White. Jesse, what are you doing here? Racing, bitch! How did you think he did in this?
He didn't do bad.
No, not really.
It comes together a lot better in the movie than it does in the trailer.
Yeah, it does.
But it's just such a long movie that at a point I just stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, it's like over 2 hours long. There's no reason this should be over 2 hours long.
It's a racing movie. It should have clocked in at like 90 minutes tops.
Dude, yeah, and there's so much they could cut out of this fucking movie. There's a lot. There's no reason that this movie has a lot of goddamn padding. And Aaron Paul I think he's a good actor. I think he's a really good actor. When I was we talked about this. Whenever I was seeing the trailer, I'm like, I'm not really buying him or his forehead. It's in 3D seems really bigger than it does on TV. As an action guy, like he's got a really good voice. He's got a good gruff voice. His physicality, keep in mind, like I saw him for 5 years blubbering like a twerked man-child on Breaking Bad, so that didn't quite lend itself to badass.
Yeah.
You know.
It's hard seeing him like trying to intimidate somebody when like I'm thinking in my head like oh man, there was that time he tried like breaking into like that crackhead's house.
Yeah.
Like steal an ATM or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that didn't go so well.
Yeah. But in the movie, there's very little of him really trying to be intimidating. There's very little
being
of that.
Really pissed off.
Yeah. So he spends most of the movie sitting down, so that covers up that he's. I mean, I know, like, I'm one to talk about being short, but like,
man, Jones, you're so tall. You tall son of a. I mean, look at us here in the car. We're the same height.
We are totally the same. We are totally the same fucking height. But I mean, I like a lot of action guys who are in reality. Tom Cruise is 5 foot. Tom Cruise is, I think, shorter than I am. A lot of the action guys really aren't that tall, but a lot of them can still emote a sense of real menace or intimidation, and a lot of them you don't know until someone tells you that they're that short. Honestly, I didn't know Tom Cruise was as short as he was until I was told that several years ago, but I didn't know by looking at him that he was that short. Aaron Paul, you can tell. Aaron Paul, he
just looks like a small little man.
He would be really good at less like an action lead and more as like a really like a Looney Bin Jim character. You know? Like some crazy fucker, like some crazy little fuck, like a character you'd see like David Patrick Kelly playing. You know, like
I could see that.
I could really, and honestly, in this, he's perfectly serviceable in this. That's not the greatest compliment in the world, but he
Aaron Paul. Okay.
Yeah, quite honestly, he's fine. He's the movie is just so stupid. It is so goddamn stupid.
The plot is fucking paper thin. I mean,
and what it has
for it being at like what
210.
210.
Yeah.
You could write the entire plot on like a fucking cocktail napkin.
And the plot, even the rail thin plot that it has, is fucking ridiculous. The movie's a 2 hour and 10 minute pissing contest, to be quite honest. It has to do with Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper. Honestly, Dominic Cooper would have been better as the lead in this, and Aaron Paul would have been better as the bad guy. At least Dominic Cooper's a little more intimidating. Maybe it's because I've seen him play Uday Hussein, but
well, there's always that.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, he would have been better as the lead. Aaron Paul would have been better as Pete, the kid who dies.
That kid. Oh, here's the thing about this movie.
And then just get somebody else to be the hero of the villain of the film, I guess. Here's the thing about this whole movie. I didn't give a fuck. It's a revenge movie where I didn't give a fuck about the guy who died. He was really goddamn annoying. He was pointless. He was very unrealistic for the character he was playing and the profession that he had. When he was out of the movie, I was like, thank God this mechanic / Justin Bieber lookalike is out of the fucking movie. And now I gotta... seriously was like the weakest link up to that fucking
Totally!
point.
Oh my God! And he's the guy who gets killed, and the movie's... Aaron Paul getting revenge for that kid's death. Like, I give a fuck. Like, I give a flying fuck about that. And the movie, it advertises that, like, there's no CGI. It's real cars slamming into real cars, shit blowing up, real chases, stuff like that. And that's cool. I am totally for that. I am fine. I am totally fine with that. But, I mean, that alone doesn't make a fucking movie. I mean, you know this from Getaway.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they did all their own stunts. Oh, they didn't use any CGI. Oh, they just kept destroying the same cars over and over again. That's awesome and all, but an actual explosion and a CGI explosion look
fucking identical to me.
Well, and like, especially in Getaway, where it's cut, 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 cut.
Oh, yeah, especially that one where it's you blink and something else is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
this
too fucking spastic
this one,
for me. It didn't
doesn't
matter
do-
what it was.
Yeah, yeah, and in this one, it doesn't do that in this one. I mean, you can the chase scenes are for the most part shot fine. It's just that I need to actually give a shit about what's going on, why they're racing, why there's a chase. I mean, a great car chase is good not just because it's a chase, but because there's actual stakes. There's actual stakes, and you're actually invested in what's going on, why this is happening, and the character who this is happening to. In this, I give a fuck about none of it. Just jack shit. And none of it even made fucking sense to begin with, because what happens is, it's Aaron Paul, Bieber, and Dominic Cooper are all having a pissing contest.
Well, to be fair, it's Dominic Cooper and Aaron Paul, but there are 3 cars in front of them. So obviously the kid is like, "Oh man, let me ride that one." Mm-hmm. So like, okay. And Aaron Paul even tells him like, "You don't really know what you're doing enough to be doing this." Dominic Cooper's like, "No, fuck it. He said he wants to be a big boy."
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're racing down the highway, down county roads and shit like that, and Dominic Cooper causes the kid to flip his car, explodes, dies. And he's really evil for no reason other than the movie needs a bad guy. Like, why would there's no motivation for anything he does.
Yeah, I mean, they set up from the very beginning, and they never really give us a clear reason why, but they set up from the beginning that, like, Dominic Cooper and Aaron Paul are from, like, the same podunk little town. Despite the fact that when they have, like, an overhead shot of this podunk town, it looks like fucking L.A.
Yeah.
But never mind that. Podunk town, upstate New York, they're apparently both from this town, and one of them made it big as, like, an international race car driver, and the other one didn't at all. Like, he's still just racing, like, fucking dirt tracks and shit around his hometown.
Yeah.
And that's about all we really have as far as, like, why he's the villain. Like, these two just don't like each other.
Yeah.
They knew each other. They grew up with each other. One of them got famous. They don't like each other. And then also, suddenly he's fine with murdering people.
Yeah, like he's only evil because the plot calls for it. That's it. And so the kid dies, and Aaron Paul is framed for it and goes to jail for a couple of years because Dominic Cooper has a fake alibi and says that he was not there. There were only 2 cars there, not 3, which apparently in this universe means there are no street cameras and no such thing as tire tracks or paint residue on the fucking car.
Or hundreds of eyewitnesses as they were driving down the highway.
Yes, hundreds of witnesses that saw so many of them doing this.
The cops even mentioned, like, it's like, yeah, we had a few eyewitnesses, mentioned 3 cars, mentioned 2 cars. We only found 2 cars. So obviously that's the end of the investigation.
Done. Jail.
2 years later.
I like it when Aaron Paul comes walking out of jail like a hard ass. I was like, dude, you're not a hard ass in prison.
I mean, look at you.
They loved you in there. God. So he gets out of jail and he wants revenge, which is just simply to beat Dominic Cooper in a race that's a private illegal race that's put together by Michael Keaton, who is this figure that people know about. He's this famous racing figure who does live streams about this illegal race he's doing. They're basically ripping off the guy from Vanishing Point. That's it. They're ripping off the DJ from Vanishing Point.
He gives us an omniscient narrator who can just tell us what's going on so that we don't need to. But
even though we know what's going on, it's not that fucking hard to figure out.
Like, you know, Aaron Paul starts driving off in this souped-up Mustang, and then it cuts to, you know, to him in his little recording booth, like, it's like, you know who I think's in that Mustang? Aaron Paul. I'm like, We know. We're not guessing at it.
He's he basically is DJ Beetlejuice. Like, he gets animated in this.
Ooh, I can feel it.
Ha, ladies.
The jitters and ooh, my heart. I gotta take some nitro. Ooh,
Shall we? So yeah, he gets really into it. Like, I kind of want to see a whole movie about this guy. Like, he would be like he would be great seeing like this for like 90 minutes.
and what fucking name does he go?
The Monarch.
The Monarch.
They call him the Monarch, and apparently he's impossible to find, even though he live streams and seems to be easy to find because people can email him things. Like, it seems like this guy should actually be very easy to find.
He has a really nice setup because he's got like a call in.
Yeah.
Just get in touch with people.
And so Aaron Paul, they have to go from New York to California where they know where this race is, and Aaron Paul is breaking parole doing this. So thank God they only run into like 1 or 2 cops on the fucking way, considering the crazy amount of fucking stunt driving they're doing. Like, I get...
Yeah, the first like 20 minutes of them just like fucking hot dogging around, I'm like, you know what? Someone would have called a cop, or they would have just like accidentally driven past one.
Yeah, and
You can't go 20 feet in Springfield without seeing a cop.
God, yeah, let alone across the fucking country. And I get that, okay, I get that there needs to be car chases and stuff like that, because it's just the kind of movie it is. But, you know what, this is an easy fix to have it all make sense. Just cut out the fucking prison plot line. Take that could... There's your 20 minutes that could be taken out of the goddamn movie. Take that whole plot line out of the goddamn thing, that his friend gets fucking killed, and now he really wants to beat this fucking guy in a race. Yeah, there you go. All right, it's fucking Rocky IV plot line. There you go. Yeah, honestly. And so he's got to get across country, avoid cops, avoid all the people that Dominic Cooper and Michael Keaton, or that Dominic Cooper wants to send after him to stop him. That honestly takes care of so many problems with this movie. It would still be kind of stupid, but it would have made a little better sense if they just simply took out that prison shit from the movie.
Well, and it's also like, it's completely preposterous too, in that, Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper are working together at the beginning of the film on like fixing up some like never finished Mustang that like Ford and Shelby were working on, and so he fixes it in some like independent, I don't know, car collector or some. It never really fully explains what the hell
Shows
he
us
is.
that I think this car is made of horses.
Yeah,
That was weird. This hologram presentation that it does for the car.
but this guy ends up buying the car for like $3 million fucking dollars, and then the day he's getting out of prison, he calls the guy up and is like, "Hey, so can I borrow that car that I built for you that you bought for $3 million? I need to go race it across the fucking country so I can beat this guy in a different race."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, okay.
He brings along Imogen Poots, which between this and that awkward moment, this is the better movie. She's totally fine in this. She works in this. I honestly did like her. Actually, I thought they had pretty good chemistry together. But I honestly, like, even though the couple movies I've seen her in were pretty bad movies, I like her. Like, she was pretty good in this, and she's also wildly beautiful. Like, incredibly gorgeous, and she was pretty good in this.
Yeah, no, it had the thing that the fucking Getaway was missing, in that, yeah, it's like they honestly, like, they worked as a team. They didn't like each other at first, and that relationship grows until it's, the actual start of a relationship.
Yeah.
By the end of the film, like, the Getaway is just like, you have two people that don't want to be in the car together, and that never changes.
Yeah, and Imogen Poots is not annoying in this. Like, not at all. Like, when she's, like, worried and concerned about stuff, it's she's a better actress than Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
So she pulls that off really good. Like when she's afraid of heights. That was actually not a bad scene. When she's afraid of heights and he's like kind of trying to talk her down. Is there that part in the trailer where the helicopter's carrying the car and she's scared of heights and he's kind of trying to calm her down by talking to her about random stuff. That scene worked. Like when she was like worried about stuff, it was genuine. But they also managed to have her have fears and stuff like that, but also remain competent. Like, because she's not useless in this movie.
Oh, yeah, because, there's a point where they kind of switch off driving for a little bit so that Aaron Paul can get some sleep. And while she's driving, like, this gang of other racers try like destroying the car, like ramming it off the road and all this shit.
Yeah, there's a brief plot line in it where Dominic Cooper's like, I will give whoever stops him from getting to California my car. I mean, he could easily just call the fucking cops because he's breaking goddamn parole, but whatever. So yeah, there's like a group of truckers that show up and try ramming him off the road. If the plot goes nowhere.
All these truckers with like souped up weird cars.
Yeah.
Trying to destroy another car so they can win a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's like some like fucking $2 million like one of only 3 ever made Lamborghini or something like that. But you know what? I'd rather have $2 million.
And how was Aaron Paul figuring on driving that goddamn thing by the time he got there? Because it's not like they treat that car well throughout this movie.
Oh, there are several times when I'm like, well, that thing would be dead right there.
Yeah, how is he planning on using this goddamn? By the end of it, like, he uses a different car, but he didn't know he was gonna do that when he was doing all this crazy trick shit with it, flying off ramps with the goddamn thing, or that shit with the helicopter. Oh, by the way, yeah, the fucking helicopter guy. Where do we start with that fucking guy who's more powerful than Jesus? Like, he is his personal guardian angel who seems to know everything that is fucking going to happen and happens to have the most specific flying machine that's appropriate for the occasion because he happens to know a guy who has every flying vehicle that he would ever need.
When they're going from, they start off, they take a leg from New York over to Detroit. And so he's just following them overhead in like a single engine Cessna.
Which... he's gotta be really good at flying. Oh, hang on. I keep getting ahead of you guys. Hang on.
By a lot.
Hang on. Let me double back.
Just doing circles the whole fucking way there.
Yeah, sorry, we have to keep stopping for you to refuel.
But once they get to Detroit, then he switches off, and suddenly he's flying like the Action 10 News weather.
It's okay, I know a guy. I had a friend who owed me a favor. Yeah, well, that friend just probably lost his job. Because he's flying around in the action helicopter and the news switches to a news feed from it, and he's like pointing at like girls bending over and shit. Whatever, it's stupid. The guy's the comic relief in the movie. He's not fucking funny. He like twerks in prison and shit. But yeah, he's flying around in a news chopper at one point.
Yeah, he's always like there's a scene where like he lands and then runs to a different single engine Cessna, not his, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he didn't just get in the same one, but whatever.
I at least appreciated, I mean, it was stupid. I at least appreciated that scene because it was the one scene that showed him getting in one and going into another one.
Suddenly being in a helicopter.
Being in that fucking army.
And then, yeah, there's a long stretch where they don't see him at all, and like they're trying to radio him for help because they need something while they're getting chased down by like these
along
these rival
canyons.
Guys. And then, yeah, that's the scene in the trailer where he comes out of nowhere with this giant fucking military transport helicopter.
Out of nowhere, and just happened to know that they would need something like that. Like I said, this guy is like
This guy's like a genie or something.
Because yeah, like you see in the trailer, like it's preposterous, but beyond all measure. Where like he's dangling like these weird like tow hooks. They like snap them together inside the car and then like drive it off a cliff and then just carries away.
Mm-hmm. You're crazy, man.
How did he know they were going to need that? Because when he flies over the ridge to find them, he's already like dangling it. Like, come on, man, just grab those, strap it in. It's like.
I know
like,
it sounds.
How did you know that was gonna come up?
Yeah. This is true. Like I know it sounds like we're just nitpicking, but this is really glaring shit. Like, you know me, you know I like stupid shit. This is when this happens in the movie. It's like the kind of glaring shit. That's, honestly, it's comparable to when Ator just suddenly had that flying machine in Cave Dwellers. It really is. It really is like that.
It would be like if it would be no more reasonable in this movie than like if he had suddenly showed up with like it's like, oh, I'm not flying planes anymore. I'm driving a semi with a ramp down just in case you needed to drive in it.
Yeah.
This happened to be up here. Figured you might need to, at this one moment, do that.
That probably would have been less stupid.
Oh, yeah, they did it in Cannonball Run.
Fuck yeah, they did it in Cannonball Run. They end up making it to the race, and he finds Dominic Cooper's car that he used in the race earlier that killed the annoying guy. So Dominic Cooper he doesn't like getting rid of things, so he just kept that piece of evidence. But not that it matters, because they're like, I found the car. I found the fucking car. Now, this is the piece that puts it together that proves my innocence. Well, that evidence is now fucking tainted, and not that it makes any difference in this fucking movie, because this movie knows how the law works as much as Tyler Perry knows how everything works. So yeah, like, well, great. Now that piece of evidence is inadmissible. Great. You just fucking stole it. You used it in a car race and banged it around a lot. That's not gonna fucking make any goddamn difference in the world.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is like, oh man, I found this valuable evidence that could finally clear my name and send the right man to jail. Might as well race it at 270 miles an hour down a fucking country road.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do, obviously, in this situation.
That race was so stupid. Like, it kept throwing me off because, like, for the most part, I was following it fine, but it kept cutting to other characters watching it and Michael Keaton narrating. It kept cutting to people describing to me what I was already seeing. Like, I know in races it does cut to other people and stuff like that, and in racing movies like this, but in this, it was just, it was taking you out of it because it was showing you one thing and then showing a character describe to you what you just saw, but doing it in terms that I couldn't know. I only really understood about half of Michael Keaton's dialogue in this movie, to be perfectly honest. And so and also like at this point, Imogen Poots is in the hospital because they got in an accident. A guy rammed them, and she's in the hospital, and she's like, "I need to see the race." Looks to the nurse. And,
Nurse, do you have a laptop? Oh yes, let me go get one.
Oh sure, yeah, we got it.
They just fucking have those laying around in hospitals.
Well, fucking dude in jail. The helicopter guy was in jail at this point, and
apparently you get in trouble if you borrow military vehicles and fly over restricted areas. Who fucking knew?
I didn't until that happened in the fucking movie. I had no problem with him doing it any other goddamn time in it. Like seriously, like you just fly fucking anywhere in this. You can just really. This is a shitty movie, but it's more like it's trying to be a movie version of Grand Theft Auto than it is Need for Speed. It really is. Between all the plane hijackings, between all the car thievery and shit, and all the races, it would be a fucking shitty Grand Theft Auto. This plot would be a shitty Grand Theft Auto game. So I'm glad that it's not called Grand Theft Auto for that reason, even though the term Grand Theft Auto is used in it and the term Need for Speed isn't. Like, oh, we really want the rights to make Grand Theft Auto. Fuck! Well, we can't get the rights for it. What other racing car driving game is there? Well, we can give you the rights to Need for Speed. Oh.
People still play. All right. We can play Need for Speed.
Fucking movie based off a game with no characters and no plot.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do it.
But even that would be better than the plot they used in this movie. When they're fucking racing at the end of it, they haul off Dominic Cooper, which Pinkman ends up saving Dominic Cooper. Man, I hate this guy so much. I want revenge, so I'm gonna save his life and punch him. Like he
That'll teach him.
Yeah, this is for Pete. Bitch. Again, you. God damn it. But so Dominic Cooper, they send Dominic Cooper off to jail, which wouldn't happen. They send Aaron Paul to jail, which I believe, well, I mean, for this reason, I believe that they would all go to jail because clearly in this race that just did, several people probably died.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of fucking people died in this racing finale.
Oh, yeah. Lots of cop cars getting flipped over and blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other cars just randomly, like the cops are doing like, for a second I thought cops were like in on it with Dominic Cooper because the cops were they were sending out their patrol cars like without anyone in them and just rolling them into the street so they would hit them and crash.
Yeah, which, please, anyone who works in law enforcement that watches this, which, go out there and stop a crime. Jesus, why are you watching this? Is that an authorized procedure to take your brand new, fresh off the lot squad car, jam the nightstick onto the gas pedal, and then drop it into gear to battering ram another car?
That clearly like probably killed that guy. Like so many people die in this race.
Oh yeah, the guy he hit is most likely dead because.
Was that Texas Mike? Or which one was it? Texas John? Texas Mike?
No, that was English Paul.
English Paul.
English Paul.
We were rooting for the other people in the race because
Everyone
at least
in the race has like a stupid name.
yeah, English Paul, the Gooch.
The Gooch.
The Gooch. There was like I was rooting for everybody else at the end of this race. It like never shows them at all. You only see their name, but like at least those characters, like I didn't 100% know they were douchebags. Whereas Dominic Cooper and Aaron Paul are this is just douchebaggery. The movie. It's two fucking douchey bros having a goddamn pissing contest. Like this movie is just watch Rush. Like if you watched. Rush is really. If you watched if you watched Rush and your problem with it was that it was good, you'll like this. So Michael Keaton's narrating at the end, going, "So my man Toby Marshall, he got like a few months in jail, and Dominic Cooper, he's gonna be in prison for a long time, baby." And I'm like, why are you not in prison? You orchestrated this whole goddamn thing. What you're doing is clearly illegal.
Oh, he's responsible for all the deaths in this film.
Yeah.
Well, and I like, too, that it's one of those movies where they keep talking about the guy who died.
Pete!
As if what they're saying is at all something that you should really be saying. Like, it's like, later into the movie, like, after he's dead, like, they're doing shit like, oh man, we finally got our invite to the big race.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was Imogen Poots that like tells him, like, it's like, Pete would have really enjoyed this.
You were sitting next to me. You were like, what did you say? You
I was
were
like, no, Pete would have really enjoyed the rest of his life. Like, they just keep saying shit like that. Like, or like, yeah, Aaron Paul, like, he tricks Dominic Cooper into flipping his car over and bursts into flames, and he could just easily stand there and watch it explode and roast him alive, like what happened to Pete. But no, he saves him, and then it's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fucking fine. Like, are you okay? Good, because this is for Pete.
Again, a part where Dominic Cooper is only a dick because the script calls for it. There's no reason for him to be doing really any of the really crooked shit he's doing in this movie. It's just villain for the purpose of plot. That is it. And I liked how we didn't realize until like 90 minutes into this thing that Aaron Paul has a tattoo that says Pete across his wrist, which they love you in prison if you've got a dude's name tattooed on your wrist and you're the size of Aaron Paul.
Which he must have gotten that in prison. Because he was arrested on the bridge after that happened. And then is like the day he gets out is when he starts driving. So he must have had a dude's name tattooed on him in prison. But yeah, just like on his wrist, it's like Pete. So when he's driving, he can look over and see Pete. There.
Schillinger actually just put a swastika on there. And Maloney came in and helped him out by tattooing Pete over it.
It's like, we'll fix that a little bit, I guess.
I want to see that movie. The one about that's Aaron Paul's name is Toby Marshall.
It's not as cool as Brent Magna.
Or, what the fuck is Wahlberg's name in Transformers?
Oh, God, you told me earlier.
Cade Yeager.
Because that's what people name their kids.
I love that so much. This movie is like becoming the year of like me looking forward to sequels of stuff I didn't like. I am kind of looking forward to Transformers 4. I'm looking forward to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Purge 2 looks amazing. All sequels to movies I did not like.
We'll see. You'll be really anticipating, the arrival of like Singles Mom Club 2.
Oh man. Well, that's since Lionsgate dropped him. Man, I just want to talk about that again. Although I don't know if there's anything I left out. The only thing that it was like I was saying to you, the only thing that wasn't there in this Tyler Perry movie that was in everything you guys described and everything that I heard was that it wasn't a Jesus-y movie. Like, at all. He showed me some clips of Temptation earlier.
Yeah. No, he had to know. It's a fucking mess. And it's boring. Once you watch the rest of it, it's so boring.
I noticed that it was literally the same exact length of the goddamn movie we saw yesterday. That was a sad group that piled out of that theater. Man, there was. Like, it was, not that it was full. It so wasn't. It was me, Sarah, a couple people and their grandma, and then like three, I don't know, they were maybe in their 20s if I can remember right, but...
White high school girls.
I think so.
White high school girls, they eat this shit up. I don't get it.
No one ate this shit up, man. When we all piled out of that theater...
For some reason, they think they like Tyler Perry movies, I guess, then. Yeah. Every fucking one I've gone to, half the crowd has been white teenage girls.
When I gave you guys the keys... because I had to, when you guys were at Medea Christmas and I had to go into the movie theater to get, or to give you guys the keys to the car because their movie got out first because they were at Medea Christmas. I was at The Hobbit, which was significantly longer.
A little bit.
And so I had to go into the
longer.
Theater. I had to go into their theater to give them the keys to the car. And that was, I noticed that. I saw you guys sitting there and I was like, wow, this is a really white audience here of like teenage girls and like one black lady in the back.
That's how it is for fucking all of them. There was a little bit more of a difference when we were over at like Showplace 8, but not that big of a difference.
This one
was still half white girls in like their mid-teens.
Oh yeah, this theater was like dead, and when it ended, like everyone there was just tired. It was just tired. Well, me and Sarah were just shocked. I went back home and rewatched you guys' Medea Christmas video too last night, because now I was like, looking at you guys talking about the technical specs of that movie, I was like, yes, now I know what the fuck they're talking about.
Sun zoom.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Again, like, if you want to go to Need for Speed and not be that mad at it, even though it sucks, if you want to be not mad at it, go to Single Moms Club first, and then go see Need. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because saying that out loud sounds like a stupid plan.
No, that's a stupid plan.
Yeah, that's a stupid plan right there, but if you want to be really stupid... This coming from two guys who had a double feature of fucking Legend of Hercules and Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. And this plan that I'm describing sounds stupid. Just don't go see either goddamn one of these fucking movies.
Or both of them. That's the main thing. Don't see either or both of them. Don't just watch one, you'll be disappointed.
If you want to, yeah. It's both or nothing. Or you could go see Veronica Mars, I guess. Jillian Nick liked it. I think that was crowded. Like, this was hilarious because Veronica Mars and Need for Speed were tonight. So I had to go into their theater real quick for Veronica Mars, and their theater was like really crowded. Like, they were sitting really close to the front. It was pretty packed in there. It looked like it was just single seating only for the most part. And so I went in and was like, wow. But it was in the smaller theater. It was in the smaller theater there. Meanwhile, our goddamn movie, Need for Speed, was in the much bigger theater.
And like, we're walking in, like, we're up against like where the stadium seating wall comes down, so we can't see shit until you get to the very end of that wall. And you're like, oh man, I wonder how packed this is gonna be. And right when we made, like, right before the end, Brad's like, well, hold on, we still got a couple minutes, I'm gonna get a drink real quick.
Yeah.
And I peek my head around the corner and I see 4 fucking people.
There were 4 people in this giant theater. Keep in mind, this isn't a pre-screening. This is a Friday night. This is not a pre-screening.
Friday, like 7:20 showing.
7 showing for this. Maybe last night was the crowd.
I'm sure that's what it was. I'm betting last night was the crowd.
Or they were just all in the 2D screening. I mean, I doubt that was the case, but I've seen that happen before. When Jake and I were at the pre-screening for the Lego Movie, we were in the 3D screening, and we were the only ones there. But the 2D screening was apparently like fucking packed.
Which is weird, because an animated feature like that, I would figure the 3D would be the one you'd want to go for.
Yeah, an animated feature like that, I prefer seeing in 3D, quite honestly. The 3D in Lego was great. Now, it's something...
Like, the 3D in this movie made no difference on anything.
It didn't. It wasn't bad 3D, it just didn't make any fucking difference.
But yeah, it was mostly unnoticeable. Like,
yeah, a couple times, like, I forgot that I was even watching the goddamn thing in 3D. It felt like you were just watching it with Ed's 2D glasses. It really was. Like, it wasn't bad in that it wasn't distracting or anything like that. It wasn't even necessarily poorly done, like how, like, you know, Airbender was poorly done, or Legend of Hercules. It wasn't that. It was just unnecessary. There's really no reason for it. You're not getting anything out of going to go see this movie in 3D, honestly.
Although there is one thing I will give the 3D in this one. During the shots where it's at night or just generally dark, I could still see everything that was going on. It was very nicely they upped the brightness to the right level to actually make it viewable. Unlike several other 3D movies we've seen recently. 300. Well, yeah, like, oh, it's nighttime, so I guess I'll see what happens when the lightning strikes.
When we were at Peabody and Sherman last week, shoot, where's my when we were at Peabody and Sherman last week, I put my 3D glasses in my pocket, and the movie starts up, or at least the 3D trailers started up. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, let me put these damn things on. These are sunglasses, by the way. I'm like,
That's why the 3D didn't work.
I'm sitting there like, fuck, god damn it. I look at Dave, I'm like, are you having a fucking problem with the 3D? Jesus Christ. I was like, it's fucking last night when we were at 300. It was just set dim. I was just set dim. The projector was all set dim and shit. God damn it. So I got up. And fucking Dave is sitting there like, oh yeah, I kind of see it. Maybe the projector was fucking up then, I don't know. But so I went to go tell the guy, and the guy's, maybe there was something wrong with it, because the manager's like, oh yeah, someone came out and told us, they're working on it right now. I'm like, okay, I think maybe there was a problem with the brightness or the 3D or something, but I went back in and sat down, and I'm like, fuck, god damn it, it looks worse when I put these on. Like, I kept thinking I was wearing the 3D glasses. And so anyway, I say to Dave, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they gotta fix the fucking 3D. And Dave's like, I don't know, it looks pretty good to me, man. And I'm like, fuck, shoot. And then I was like being sly. I was like this, and because I didn't want to say to Dave what I just did because it was stupid. And so Dave's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hang on. I've got some other 3D glasses in my pocket. I got some other 3D glasses in my pocket. Let me put these. Let me see if these work better. Oh yeah, okay. These work a lot better." You never did the old sunglasses thing.
No!
Mistake.
Because I wear glasses every fucking day. I don't just have a pocket full of eyewear like you do.
To be fair, like, in a dark theater, like, to make myself feel less stupid, honest mistake.
You're like if you had a drumstick in one hand and a rubber chicken in the other.
But sometimes the 3D glasses are a little bit bigger, and it was a dark theater. I just reached in, put them on like this, and fuck, what is wrong with the goddamn 3D?
One of them feels like a 3D glasses. The other one feels like the sunglasses you wear every day.
Nah, but I had butterfingers. I had my popcorn hands. You can't actually feel the texture when you got the butter on your fingers. I mean, come on. Surely you've mixed things up with the butterfingers before. Like you're reaching for your keys, you accidentally pull out a donut.
What donut do I have in my pocket? What sort of fucking scenario is this that's happening?
Well, I have bad luck with my pockets sometime. Like a couple of weeks ago when that condom flew out of the fucking thing. And the guy behind the counter was, no, it's okay, man. I feel you. Thanks. You good, man. You real good.
You're the best.
The best. Yeah, any final words about Need for Speed?
I barely had first words for Need for Speed.
Yo, bitch!
It's a long movie that doesn't need to be.
It's unnecessary.
It's a confusingly detailed plot that doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Like, even for a movie like this, it makes no goddamn sense at all in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't have any likable characters. It has no characters that you can root for in the movie at all.
All of his friends are fucking a-holes.
Just douchebags. Like, the one guy quits his job and for no reason just walks out naked. That was weird. Again, a scene that could have been cut from the movie.
Well, I like that one of his friends even points out, it's like, why are you naked? He's like, oh, well, I wanted to make sure that I can never go back there again. He's like, there's other ways to do that, right? He's like, I know. Okay, so you're acknowledging how stupid that was.
Yeah, like,
thanks.
10-minute sequence easily could have been cut out of the goddamn movie. It was weird. It was awkward. It wasn't that funny. It was just unnecessary. And that's a series of sequences that are wildly unnecessary. Any given 10 minutes probably could have been cut from the goddamn movie to make it under 2 hours. You know, I mean, like, if you're gonna watch this goddamn thing, maybe if it's on Netflix streaming or something,
Yeah.
like, kill a fucking night where you're bored. I don't know, maybe that'll put you to sleep or something. I mean,
But you could easily, in the time that this movie could play through, you could easily watch any number of movies that this one just steals from wholesale.
watch Vanishing Point.
Watch Vanishing Point. I mean, honestly, like, with the interaction between him and her in the seat.
Smoking the Bandit.
Smoking the Bandit. Fuck, Death Race 2000.
Yeah, Death Race 2000, Smoking the Bandit, any of the Burt Car movies. Definitely Vanishing Point. Two-Lane Blacktop.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Fuck, watch that. Do you like...
The original or the Nick Cage one?
Pick one.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even a fan.
It has more in common with the remake.
It does. It does. Like, honestly, I'm not even a fan of the Nick Cage Gone in 60 Seconds, but it was better than this. I mean, like you said, this was wildly better than Getaway, right?
Yeah. 10 minutes into the movie, they're watching Bullet. Just watch Bullet.
Watch Bullet. Watch fucking Bullet.
Fuck, I want to go home and watch Bullet.
Yeah, Bullet, French Connection, Ronin, you know, anything with a wild car chase. What was that pretty fun Dabney Coleman one from the 70s or 80s?
Oh, God, what was that?
What was that called?
Short Time?
I think so. Was that Short Time? That movie was fun as shit. watch that. That movie was fun as hell.
Fuck, I haven't thought about that in a while.
Stay home and watch that. That movie's underrated as fuck.
Yeah, or you could do like what the characters in the movie do at a point, and stay at home and play Need for Speed in a movie named Need for Speed based off the video game that they're fucking playing in it.
From the director of Act of Valor, which it shows that DVD at one point in the movie. I expect a lot more from a movie that's co-written by the guy who starred in Leprechaun 3. That's a real thing.
Yeah, we looked it up earlier. Star of Leprechaun 3. Mm-hmm. Bravo.
Alright, I think next week is Divergent.
Yeah,
that's Sarah territory.
Yeah.
Next week is Divergent and Muppets Most Wanted, which this year is me and Jake territory. So that'll be next week. I'll see you guys later.